This is the plaintiff, Tracy Brown. She says she brought her car into the defendant's shop for repair, and unbeknownst to her, he used a common garden hose in the engine instead of a proper flex pipe that can withstand heat, and she almost died. That's right, the garden hose sprung a leak. Carbon monoxide was backing up into the car from the exhaust. She and her husband had to be hospitalized, and she's here suing the crook for every penny of the $2,500 she's most definitely owed. This is the defendant, Nick. He says he was shocked when the plaintiff complained he used a garden hose when he repaired her car, because he would never do that. Yes, a hose he replaced was green, but it was a silicone tube approved for high heat for the type of repair he made. Bottom line, nothing he did was incorrect. He's pretty sure the plaintiff is not going to have any evidence of his wrongdoing, and he will be vindicated today. He's accused of creating a death trap.
All parties, please raise your right hand.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case on the docket. The plaintiff says the defendant did such a poor job fixing her car that she and her husband almost died from carbon monoxide poisoning. But the defendant says that he did the job fine and never used a garden hose to fix a critical pipe. It's the case of up your nose with a garden hose.
Thank you, my dear. Tracy Brown, you are suing. Nick, you've asked us not to use the name of your business. You're the owner?
Yes.
Okay, for $2,500 that you say you are out in inconvenience and costs from a repair that he did to your car. Tell me what happened.
I brought the car there on August 28th. They gave me an estimate. I brought the car back on August.
What kind of car is this?
2003 Ford Escape.
And what did he tell you was wrong with it?
That it needed a catalytic converter.
So he tells you it's a catalytic converter, and do you have that repaired?
Yes.
And you pay him $1,380.59?
Yes.
Okay, and then what happens?
Sometime at the end of August, the check engine light went back on.
Okay.
So I brought the car back, and they said that the part was defective, and they would replace it again.
Okay. And did you replace it, sir?
Yes.
And then what happens?
Well, I had brought the car there several days in September, the 2nd, the 9th, the 11th, the 15th.
Well, you brought it where? Back to his place?
Back to his place.
Telling him what?
That the check engine light was still on.
Okay, and so you bring it back there. The second, what do they say?
They said that the second catalytic...
Oh, they said the second part was
defective.
Okay.
Okay, so they replaced it again.
Did you replace it twice?
My record shows replaced it once.
So was there a
Twice.
third time you're saying?
Yes.
Just
and
saying third.
after the second one was put in, they assured me that they would get the part directly from Ford to
Right.
fix it the third time.
Do you have paperwork from all these repairs?
Most of them, yeah.
Okay, let me
Okay.
see. And what happens when you take the car back from him the last time that you took the car from him?
Okay, I took it to Ford.
Why?
For
did you
another
take it to,
issue.
what caused you to take it to Ford?
There was an ABS brake light problem that was a recall from Ford. So while it was there having that done, I explained that I had started to smell a burning smell.
Okay. EGR valve, that's what the third thing was for. What's an EGR valve?
EGR is the exhaust gas recirculation. It takes part of the exhaust. It's connected part of the catalytic converter. It has a outlet. A hose goes to the EGR.
All right, so you decide enough's enough and I want to take it to Ford. And you take it to Ford, and what does Ford tell you?
They tell me that they believe it looks like a garden hose was put in the car.
What's it, the EGR?
Well, there was a melted pipe. At that point, I didn't know what it was. It had melted a hole, and they said that carbon monoxide was leaking into the vehicle, and we shouldn't drive it.
Okay. Now, according to you, you have been feeling sick.
Yes.
Tell me about that.
My husband and I were experiencing...
Is this your husband?
Yes.
Okay, come on up.
Headaches, stomach aches. We just overall were feeling lethargic, tired. We didn't
I feel like
know
that every
what was
day.
wrong. So when Ford explained that...
No, hold on with Ford. I want to hear
Okay.
about your sickness. Tell me
Ooh.
about that, sir.
So we went to the hospital. They ran some tests on us for like 2 hours.
When you go into the hospital, do you have the complete medical records that show what your complaint was, so I know what you went there for, because they're taking chest
I
x-rays.
went there for
and-
chest pain.
Yeah, you went in there for chest pain. What did they end up deciding was wrong with you?
Basically, the doctor said that we had signs of carbon monoxide poisoning.
May I see that?
She said we had the symptoms, but
May I see that?
sure. I don't know if I had.
Okay,
she
that's what you would
basically-
need in court, because you're
Okay.
suing for $1,120 for inconvenience, and you're telling me, you're bringing all this up about everything you went through, and that's horrible. If you can prove that it has something to do with faulty work, I want to know about
The
it.
doctor said, do not drive the car until catalytic converter is fixed.
Okay, let me see that. Okay, that's based on you telling him I feel bad when I drive my car, right? I mean, I want to see a result, a measurable scientific result that shows that you have carbon monoxide poisoning. If you have a diagnosis of carbon monoxide poisoning or consistent with carbon monoxide poisoning, can you please submit that to the court at this trial?
Okay, I don't have
Okay,
the
got it.
results of
So
those
then,
tests.
So she takes it to Ford a few days before they go to the hospital. And according to Ford, exhaust leaking into vehicle. And according to Ford, the customer states ticking type noise when accelerating. Tech did not hear a ticking noise. This is my greatest nightmare. Cannot duplicate customer complaint. Because it's happened to me so many times when I take my car. Cannot duplicate customer's complaint. Did find EGR2 broken. All right, now that's what you were telling me about, that they said, what is this? And it was broken. Do you have the pictures of that? I'd like to see. Okay, this is the correct part, a flex pipe. And this, okay, so it's this, it's like a hose or something, and it's actually
Yes.
green. And that was cracked, according to them. The
we're
repair for that is $582.13. Okay, so tell me why you were suing for $2,500 instead of just having that job done then and having it be fine. Because obviously, Ford is not saying that the catalytic converter is faulty. They're saying this pipe here is faulty, it needs to be replaced, it'll cost you $582 to be able to use your car. According to you, you haven't used your car since then.
No.
Right, why? Why don't you just fix that like Ford told you to?
Well, because I couldn't afford to fix it through Ford.
Did you fix it through anybody?
No, the car is still sitting.
What EGR did you use? They're unimpressed at Ford on what you used. Is there anything from Ford?
Well, they're always unimpressed, but we use aftermarket.
Well, something went wrong, because if you fixed that on 9/28 and by January 20th it was a problem, something went wrong. So apparently you have a lot of faulty products you buy.
Well, could be. We don't know.
Well, no,
We say the EGR, it was replaced. Most important, was replaced.
right. And
Okay.
most important, not 3 months after it was replaced, it failed. That's pretty important.
Well, I don't make it. I don't manufacture it. I just
I know, but maybe you need to
replace it.
buy a better part.
Well,
And
that's
because
what's
now we
available.
know your first catalytic converter was
That's-
faulty.
yeah, but-
And we also know your EGR was faulty.
It happens, not all the time. It happens.
Twice with one customer?
Well,
So if I put a part in your car and it fails within 3 months, is that automatically a defective part?
No, absolutely not.
Why?
Because it could be anywhere in the car. What's the warranty? What are the details?
I know, but shouldn't it last more than 3 months?
The driver could be speeding over potholes.
You know what? That's actually a really good point.
Right.
That's a good point. Going inside the courtroom.
So what's in your hand? that
no,
you
this
want?
is the hose that was used.
Well, apparently it failed. And if you don't have anything that shows that that failure made you sick, other than the doctor saying, it hurts when I do this, well, don't do this, you know what I mean? How do I pin that on him? And why would you get your money back for the catalytic converter? You're right that you are out something, but it seems to me like the correct measure of what you're out is the thing Ford found that he was supposed to have done right, which is the EGR valve. So I'm going to order the defendant to pay you $582.13 so that you can have that part fixed by Ford. You are entitled to exactly what I said, $582.13, verdict for the plaintiff.
Well, after hearing all the testimony, the judge has found for the plaintiff, she's going to get the money from you now to take the car to Ford and have it fixed properly by Ford. You know, after hearing all this, it sounds like you buy cheap parts. Is that right?
No. We buy aftermarket parts. and aftermarket parts is not the same.
I know they're not the same as
original parts.
original,
Right.
and you say sometimes they fail, but I mean, that doesn't sound very good.
No,
you know?
this is what we do all the time, aftermarket. If we offer the customer from dealer, but for higher price. No, they go
They
with,
want the
with
cheaper?
the cheaper one. Yes.
And it's a gamble, then, it sounds like.
Well, it's not like every aftermarket is no
Okay.
good.
All right.
It happens.
Okay.
It happens that.
Thank you very much. Okay,
you.
in this case, she's going to get it done right by Ford. I presume you're going to get the money. You going to take the car to Ford now, or what? Or will you go back to him?
No, we'll definitely go to
Okay,
Ford.
all right. So, you happy with this?
I'm happy
Satisfied?
that we're getting our car fixed.
Yeah.
However, all the inconvenience
Well,
that's been going
look,
on for months.
You can't get that, unfortunately. Congratulations. At least you get the money to get it fixed.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. Harvey?
Okay, Doug, I mean, this is a perfect case to explain evidence that the plaintiff has a theory here that the defendant is responsible for the carbon monoxide that almost killed her and her husband. The fact is you need evidence to prove it, and especially in a case like this, expert testimony. She didn't have it, and as a result, she lost.